Been a crazy, crazy week. A lot happened, and a lot happened over the weekend, and we're going to go over some of it. I think there's some really interesting stuff that's happened over the weekend that I want to touch up on, like, for example, Hollywood here, still kind of hurting after that big L that they took. And they've kind of realized, finally, that their relevance just isn't quite there. Because remember, they all came out for old Kamala. All of them did. Well, not all of them literally, but 90% of them, it kind of feels like, came out to support her. And by that, I'm talking about bigger names, right? Like names which you would have thought had influence. Turns out they don't. Imagine that. So they're still dealing with this, but here's the interesting thing that happened that I wanted to talk about. Disney doubling down on diversity as Trump purges DEI from federal government. Now, a lot of corporations have kind of followed his lead. Amazon is doing that now. They're dumping a lot of programs. You've seen it with Facebook, Target, a couple of other outlets, Costco. They're like, nah, we're not doing that. And to be clear, they don't have to. They're all private companies. But a lot of them can kind of see where the wind is blowing, so they're starting to make their changes. Disney, however, has decided to double down and make diversity a skill. That's right. It's a skill. Like, you learn something, you get a skill, build it, improve upon it. Well, they're a walking skill. So I'm not kidding. They did this after he became president, from when I was reading this article, which is really funny. Now, listen, many people that I'm sure a lot of you listen to that cover entertainment, including myself, have said this. Disney will be the last company to change in Hollywood. And they're right. Disney will be the last ones. Bob Iger has political aspirations, and he's going to have to run them through the Democratic Party. So he's not going to go so quietly into the night. He will fight this as hard as he can, because I do really believe this man wants to run for president. And he'd be an awful president. An awful president. Look how he's ran Disney. He's ran them into the ground. They had a good year last year, but none of those movies pushed any kind of political messaging. They actually did it right last year, and they got rewarded for it. This year is going to be really interesting because there's a lot of shit coming out. Captain America's not looking so hot. Snow White's not looking so hot. We'll see how things go. As I promise you, Captain America 4 and Thunderbolts, they're not even going to come close to what Deadpool and Wolverine did last year. The Walt Disney Company is doubling down on DEI just as President Donald Trump is in the process of removing the controversial programs from the federal government, calling them illegal in his recent executive order. In their annual proxy statement filed this week with the Securities and Exchange Commission, in which the company said it would incorporate DEI into its board selection process as well as its executive bonuses. It even classified diversity under the category of skill and experience. The filing, which was reported by That Park Place, comes as a growing number of major corporations, including Walmart, Target, Boeing, and Ford, are moving away from or are completely abandoning their DEI initiatives. Such programs were increasingly seen as divisive and counterproductive, as well as legally dubious, since they discriminate against white and Asian males based on their race and gender. So Disney seems like they're pretty all in, yeah? Check this out. This is from CNN, and I just wanted to play this because Trump's approval rating is the best it's ever been, and CNN is coping hard over this. The media, Hollywood, all these outlets, they're shocked because they tried so hard to keep him out. And it's really funny to see a lot of these like far lefty types start using the word oligarch. And that started with the media too, by the way. They just, anything that comes from CNN or all these other sites, they just eat it up like it's the gospel. Oligarchs is funny to be getting thrown around right now because we've been under an oligarchy for a long time in America. And the reason that he gets so much heat in the media is because he's not in their club. If anybody was a puppet of the oligarchy, it was Biden, Obama, all of them actually, even Bush. All of them were under that thumb. That's why you never saw the heat like Trump gets. But let's go ahead and play this because it's pretty funny. So I wanted to include it because this is why Disney's going to have some problems because nobody supports the shit that they're doing.
This is a very different Donald Trump. He's leading a very different administration the way he's attacking things, and the American public is very much more in line with him than they were at any point during his entire first term.
Yep. Well, I would say, correction, this is not a very different Donald Trump. This is a very different Donald Trump as being viewed by voters in this.
In the way he's going about things with Susan Wiles leading things, I think he's, going at things in a much less disorganized fashion, much more organized.
Take me back in history.
Take you back in history. So it was so interesting to me that Donald Trump's first net approval rating of his second term is higher than his entire first term. And I was interested, has that ever happened? Has the second term net approval rating in the first term, have you ever had a higher rating than any net approval rating during the entire first term? Donald Trump is the only...
I have a hard time believing that.
I bet you do.
100% true. I went back. I love spreadsheets. Donald Trump's is the first guy ever whose net approval rating in the first month of his second term is higher than any rating that he had as an entire...
Look at that face. Look at that face on her. Oh, that cope. That delicious cope. Those tears. It tastes good with that cope, too.
First term, Kate Baldwin. This is true. I don't make stuff up. The numbers are the numbers.
I believe you in nothing except when you have it in the wall, and then I believe everything you say.
I bet. Yeah, this has been fantastic. I've been loving it, and it's just going to keep getting better. There was another clip of J.D. Vance owning this woman. They're all like, this is what's really funny. And some of these people, they eat this shit up. Like, Trump's president, why are eggs still high? Like it was going to come down the day he's elected. Are you kidding me? And people eat this shit up because they're so stupid.
You campaigned on lowering prices for consumers. We've seen all of these executive orders. Which one lowers prices?
We have done a lot, and there have been a number of executive orders that have caused already jobs to start coming back into our country, which is a core part of lowering prices.
Like, what do these people think? That it's just going to change the next day? That's not how things work. And everybody, I think, understands that, except for these people that are trying to get gotchas, like that Harry Sisson guy. Like, I can't stand these people, man.
Prices, more capital investment, more job creation in our economy is one of the things that's going to drive down prices for all consumers, but also raise wages so that people can afford to buy the things that they need. If you look at our slate of executive orders, no, Margaret, prices are going to come down, but it's going to take a little bit of time, right? The president has been president for all of 5 days. I think that in those 5 days, he's accomplished more than Joe Biden did in 4 years.
That's right.
It's been an incredible breakneck pace of activity.
All Joe Biden did was burn everything down. Trump's fixing it.
We're going to work with Congress. We're, of course, going to have more executive orders, and we're going to try the way that you lower prices is that you encourage more capital investment into our country. And yes,
there's more than that, but did you see this gotcha? I like J.D. Vance a lot. I love J.D. Vance. I hope he's the next president, to be honest. Imagine if we get him in for 8 after Trump's 4. It'd be fantastic. We really could go through that golden age. Anyway, Disney, back to their old tricks. Going to be fun to watch this shit show. I'll be paying attention, too. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the gotcha? What are your thoughts on Disney? What are your thoughts on Trump's first week? Let me know what you think about all that in the comments. Also, if you would, please like the video. That helps a lot. Subscribe. That also helps a lot, too. Hit that notification bell so you can see all the videos come out. And as always, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.